Okay, the first module is of our vector analysis, the first part in the first module. We already come across about our electromagnetism. What is mean by electromagnetism? It's a physical quantity what it is varying. We come across here a different definition is given again. Here is the interaction between a electric charge at the rest or at the and in the motion. The study of this we are telling as a electromagnetics. Then electromagnetics is a branch of physics or electrical engineering in which electric and magnetic phenomena are going to be studied. This is the basic definitions of your electromagnetics. Then what are the applications and all we already come across in the previous class. Again, I am not going to deal with these things. We'll go with the first topic of our first module, that is about our scalars and vectors. In the basic mathematics already we learned what do you mean by scalar and what do you mean by vectors, how we are going to add up those vectors or else scalar components. Okay, in different methods are going to be. First we will go with what is our scalars and vectors, what it is going to be representing for us. Okay, vector analysis is a mathematical tool whichever I'm going to deal any of the basic maths is very important for us. Whatever we are going to be basic, for that reason we are telling if your maths is in a strong way we can solve any of the things, right? If your analysis is easy for us, therefore the vector analysis is of a mathematical tool with which electromagnetic concepts are most conveniently expressed. The expression what we are going for, it will be easy for us. That's what the meaning. Then the quantity, it may be of a scalar or it may be of a vector. How to differentiate that, whether it is scalar or vector? If a component or any quantity, if I am going to tell as a scalar, here it is a definition. A scalar is a quantity that it is having only the magnitude. If it is having only the magnitude, then it is of a scalar component. What are the examples here? Here there are some examples like quantities like time, mass, weight, right? Distance, temperature, entropy, and electric potential and population are of a scalars, means it is like a number. Okay, temperature how we are going to represent? Some degree Fahrenheit, right? Distance some meters, mass some kgs, time in seconds or hours, it depends, right? Whatever you are going to represent, if it is having only the magnitude, that is of your scalars. If I am going to represent as a vector, it should have both magnitude and also of the direction. Scalar means it is having only the magnitude part. When I am going to represent as a vector, if I am going to tell as a vector, it should consist of both magnitude and direction. Okay, then vector qualities, quantities will be a velocity, force, displacement, then about electric field intensity. Some of the examples here it is given. Velocity means what is the speed in a time, how much the speed is going to be covering. Force means what is the pressure, the work done by the time, right? Displacement, how much the displacement with respect to the time. Like this, if it is varying with the magnitude and also in the direction. Velocity, whether it is going in the high speed, in which direction is very important, which direction our ship or any our vehicle are we are going to be, right? That is like this. And displacement, in which the force what is going to be exerting on a body on any of the element, in which direction it's moving, right? Like that, it should have both magnitude and also of a direction, then we call that as a vector quantity. Then another physical quantity is taken as tensors, of which states it is having a special cases of your scalars and vectors. We are not going to deal with the tensors and all. We are just focusing on vectors and scalars only. Okay. How to differentiate between your scalars and vectors? When I'm going to tell a arrow, when I'm going to take with 2 points here, where it is going to representing, then these 2 points is a single line. It's not having any scalar and vector. It's not, we are telling as a vector quantity, a line with the direction, which direction you are going to be given, that is taken as a your vector quantity. Means it is having the magnitude of a, right, in which direction it's going for. From, if I am going to take it here as a, and here it will be b. Okay, here 2 points are there, that is a, b, and it is having the direction towards b, and it is, it can represent as with a sign as small a. Then if I'm going to represent this vector, means I have to mention the arrow here. Arrow or else bar is enough. A small line on a. This indicates our vector quantity. Here it is given a arrow on the top of, it is representing a vector quantity a bar and b bar. Okay, here I give an example. If I am going to give one more example, this may be, here it is taken as a from one point to the another point, this is representing as a bar. In the same way b bar I can represent like this, or else capital letter in a bold, in a bold fashion we have to write as a and b. Okay, these two methods we can follow to represent our vector quantity. And if I am going to represent your scalar quantity, just normal letters you can write as a, b, u, v, whatever terms you are going to be using, you can represent. For the vector, what might be the magnitude of this, how I can represent? For the first figure, for this I can represent as a bar with mod. This will be the magnitude. You already learnt of this, just I am glancing over this. This is your magnitude with the direction of from a to a towards the b. That is what the length. Length is taken as a magnitude of a bar. Then EM theory is essentially study in a particular fields. Then a field, what is this field? Particular fields, if I am going to tell, which are those fields? A field is a function that specifies the particular quantity everywhere in the region. A field, if I am standing in one position, if I am standing here, means what is the area I am going to cover here. Okay, in a cricket stadium there is a limited field, right? We are telling field. Within that, if it is going for in a shorter way, it will be 4. If it is going high pitch, it will be 6. Means for that region, what is the magnitude? It's varying. Number, it is varying, right? That is what your field. Then if a quantity is of a scalar or it may be a vector, the field is said to be whether it is a scalar field or else a vector field. Okay, next examples of a scalar fields are going to be temperature distribution in a building. Means for a room, what is the temperature is going to be disturbing. When you are going to burn any of the things in a room, what is the area it's going to be covering? It is of a small things. If you are going to burn, it will be taking some small area. When you are going to burn a larger, it will be heavy. Or else in terms of AC, if you are going to use, you will be checking what is the temperature. Now it is a summer, what you will be going to be, you are increasing the AC mode in a high rate. When it is in a rainy season or in a winter season, it will be AC will be low, right? In such cases, it's of a scalar fields. Then sound intensity in the theaters will be high, of course you will be knowing. Then electrical potential in the region, means electrical potential means for the positive charge what it is going to be, what is the field it's going to be taking of that. That is what your electrical potential for positive and also for the negative way. Okay, on the copper, whichever things you are going to be, a cylinder, if you are going for copper cylinder, the winding what you are going to be based on that. Then the refractive index of a stratified medium. These are all some of the examples for your scalar fields, when I'm going to be vector fields, it should have the direction. What are the example I can give? The rain, what it's going to be, raindrop from space, from outer space to the, it's going to down, its direction is towards the earth because of the gravitational force. That's what the example is given. Gravitational force on a body. If the ball, if I throw up, what's going to be, it's coming back, okay, without external force. Automatically the direction is changing, then it is of a vector quantity. A direction wherever it is going to be with force or without force, it's like a vector quantity only, vector fields. Okay, then velocity of raindrops in the atmosphere, it is all examples of your vector fields. Okay, next is important topic is of a unit vector. When I can tell the unit vector, okay, for the numbers, if I am going to represent unit vector, means it is of a unit, means 1. If I am going to represent as 2 in terms of units, means how you are going to write, I can write as 1 plus 1, that is going to be equals to 2. Again 2 in terms of unit means again 2 into 1, like that I can write in numerous values in terms of ones, right? In the same way here also, using the same method for the vector quantity, okay, I am going to represent how I am going to represent here 2 into 1, right? In the same way, the any of the vector, if I am going to be, that I can represent in terms of a unit vector. That unit vector is taken as small a here. Okay, just we go with the theory part. A vector, that is a bar, has both magnitude and direction. We already come across this. The magnitude of a bar is a scalar. It's going to be in terms of a scalar, it's going to be written as a only, or else I can represent in scalar. Don't confuse here. In scalars, I can represent in terms of a vector also. That is a bar with the mod sign. Then a unit vector, small a, again capital A, along with the a direction. That's what the meaning of here. A along with a bar along a bar direction. If I give a small example here, if I take this 2 points, this vector is of a bar. Take this as a any B, C points. Okay, this direction is towards C. Okay, this is your vector of A. For this, again I am going to represent as a unit vector as a capital A bar. Okay, along this direction is defined as a vector whose magnitude is unity. Whose magnitude is unity. That is 1, and its direction is along with the a bar. Okay, how it is going to be represented? A capital A whole bar is equals to a bar divided by mod of a bar. It's nothing but our scalar quantity, that is equals to a bar divided by a. Okay, then therefore it's indicating our, what do you mean by a unit vector? Our mod of a bar should be equals to 1. Okay, don't confuse with here. Okay, it's a separate point. Then therefore what I can write here, our vector a is going to be equals to my, from the when I take this one this side, denominator part towards your RHS, then it is going to be equals to mod of a bar into small a of a. It's nothing but your unit vector, which completely satisfies a bar in terms of your magnitude part. It's nothing but in terms of your scalar, and its direction, it is in terms of your small a of a bar, that is your unit direction. Unit vector means if I am going to take a vector, it's showing in this direction. This is our small a of a bar. This is our unit vector. Then one more it is going to be. Okay, assume that this is one more vector. This I am going to take as a B vector. Okay, this unity vector, it's completely giving the direction, specific direction of any of the vector. When I'm going to B, if both the vectors are going to be in the same direction, then what I can write, instead of B with the unit vector, what I can write, B bar into small a bar. Okay, it is giving the direction, in which direction along with the unit vector is there any other components are varying. Understand here, if another components varying with the same direction, I can represent like this. That's what the importance of our unit vectors. Okay, like this, if I write 3, how I can write 1 plus 1, that is nothing but 3 into 1 I can write, right? Here A for this example, for B if I am going to be, I can represent as B bar, like that. Then a vector A bar in the Cartesian means rectangular coordinates may be represented as, here it is, how it is varying in three-dimensional way, in x-axis, y-axis and also in the z-axis. In such case, I can represent as ax, ay and az, or else with the unit vectors, I can write as ax, small ax bar plus ay, unit vector ay, then az bar, unit vector. Remember how to write this. Then where ax, ay and az are called out component of a bar in the x, y and z direction. Then x, ay, az are unit vectors of our x, y and z direction respectively. Here the example it is given. The unit vectors, how it is varying in the x direction, y direction and also in the z direction. Example is given. Ax is the dimensionless vector of magnitude is always 1 in the direction. It is in direction in which way it is. If it is going to be x-axis, it is increasing. We are shown the arrow, right? What is the magnitude is going to be. In that magnitude, how much it's going to be. Till that it will be varying. Okay. Observe with the figure of this. Observe here. Here we just shown how our ax, ay and az is going to be represented in the three-dimensional. Then for the with scalar quantity, how it is going to be ax bar with our scalar quantity ax bar. Then here the same way about ay bar. Then here it is this is our main component of a vector a. Here it is of az bar. It's like a vector addition. Actually it's just a small example for us how we are going to represent our Cartesian system, rectangular system. Okay, then these are all things about your here. Then the projection of a bar, this projection means how we are going to take in, okay, on the xy plane only. That is z is going to be equals to 0 in this example, is a vector which is in addition of the vector components x and y. X and y, the x and y addition is going to be. Okay. Then the magnitude of a vector a bar is going to be given as a is equals to square root of ax square plus ay square plus az square. This magnitude how we are going to be learnt in ECA subject, here also the same. Okay, vector components we are going to be squaring and adding of them, then taking the square root, and the unit vector along a direction is going to be given as small a bar. Remember, and which direction we are going to be, that is very important for a unit vector. If I am going to be, you have to change it as ab bar. Okay, then that is equals to ax bar plus ay bar plus az bar divided by the magnitude. What is the unit vector here? definition, vector A bar divided by magnitude. This is your vector quantity, then it is of your magnitude, divide of those, you will be getting your unit vector of this. Then about our vector addition and subtraction. Already you learned there are different methods of adding of a vector. Okay, here you can use of any methods which one is convenient for you. Here we are going to be using of your parallelogram method or triangular method, right? Triangle is nothing but it's also same. Okay. Two vectors a bar and b bar can be added together, then you will be ending as another vector as c bar, that is equals to a bar plus b bar. If we having the vector addition of two components, means two vectors are there, then we have to add each of the components of a two vectors. That is, if a bar is equals to ax comma ay and az, then for b bar is equals to bx by and bz, then C bar is going to be each component AX should be added with the BX, then with the unit vector AX, then AY with the BY, then unit vector AY plus then AZ with the BZ with the unit vector AZ. Remember which axis you are going to be, same components you have to add. That is very important. Next, how we can add of these two in terms of vector in a parallelogram method. Here is vector B and here is your vector A. Then if I extend my line, some point it will be joining. Okay, this is your rectangular. Then draw the diagonal for this. Then this diagonal will represent your addition of your vector A and with vector B. This is one method that is called as a parallelogram rule. One more is a head to tail rule, means from vector A, if I take this, of course A, then from tail to head, again from head to tail, okay. Then B bar vector, then the resulting of this, it will be coming as C bar, again from tail to, here for A it will be tail to head, here it will be head to head. Which one is easy for you, you can go with that method. Okay. Then about our vector subtraction, it's going to be D bar is equals to A bar minus B bar. A bar minus B bar, what I can write? A bar plus minus of B bar. It's like your summation only. Okay. Then AX minus, for each component in the Cartesian system, I can write as AX minus BX with the unit vector AX bar plus AY minus BY of your AY bar plus AZ BZ with your AZ bar. Here representing, this is your, observe here, minus of B. Actually here it is, you will be getting as B bar, vector B. The negative of that, it's going in the opposite direction. For that reason, minus B. Then this is your minus B bar. Then it is your, this is your A bar. Then again draw your, extend your lines. Then you will be getting a diagonal here, where it is going to be coinciding of two lines of B bar and also of A bar. Then it will be reaching here. Then draw the diagonal. You will be getting of your D bar, which is your subtraction of A bar minus B bar. Then in terms of head to tail method, here it will be your B bar. Observe here, this is parallel to here. You can draw like that, and A bar is there only. It will not changing of that. Then when I join this, you will be getting your D bar. We are telling one more name as triangular method for finding of your vector addition or subtraction. Which one is easy for you? Just remember that. Okay. Then some of the algebraic laws what we learned in the previously in the basics. The laws like for commutative, it's going to satisfying for addition, that is a bar plus b bar is going to be equals to b bar plus a bar. In terms of multiplication, it's going to be if ax, I'm going to multiply with a scalar quantity, that is k into a bar is going to be equals to a bar into k. For the associative law, that is a bar plus b bar plus c bar, in terms of vector is going to be a plus b vectors plus c bar. I can write for multiplication k l into a bar. If I take this like this, I can write as kl into of vector a. Then for distributive, k into vector a plus vector b is going to be taken as k into vector a plus k into vector b. This all satisfying for this addition when k and l are our scalar quantities. When I'm going for vector multiplications, the result, it may have scalar quantity. When I multiply of vector a and vector b, it may have scalar quantity, or else it may have vector quantity, in which it depends on which way you are going to be multiplying. Okay, based on that. Then the scalar quantity, or else we are calling the name as dot product, that is represented as a bar dot vector a dot vector b. Then if I'm going to represent as a vector, or else a cross product, that is represented as a cross vector a cross vector b. The multiplication of three vectors, that is a b c vectors, can result either, when I'm going to multiply these three, it can result in two ways. The first one is a scalar triple product, like a bar dot b bar into c bar. Don't use as a bar and all. Almost remember as a vector dot b vector cross c vector. Okay, you have to uh, tell as a dot and cross only. Okay, then the fourth one is of vector triple product. I can write as vector a cross of vector b cross vector c. Okay, this is how you have to represent. It may have, when I'm going to multiply three vectors, I can get a scalar triple or else a vector triple. Okay, then we'll go with the first one about our dot product, how it is going to be representing. A dot product of two vectors, vector a and vector b, written as vector a with dot with vector b. It's going to be defined in a geometrically as the product of the magnitudes of a bar and b bar. Means observe here, the scalar means a dot. Scalar quantity, it is having only of the magnitudes. If a quantity of a and b, vector a and b, it is having only the magnitude, then I can use my dot product. Okay, that's what the meaning. And the cosine of the smaller angle between them when they are drawn tail to tail method here. Then what is the equation I can write for the dot product? It's going to be a vector a dot vector b is going to be equals to, in the scalar quantities, a b cos theta ab. Theta ab is the a small angle between a bar and b bar. The result of a dot b vectors is called either a scalar product, because of result it is in a scalar quantity, or as a dot product. You can write any of the way. Then if a bar vector a is having ax, ay and az, and b bar is having bx, by and bz, then I can write as a dot product of these two as, that is going to be equals to each component ax with ax, ax with bx, plus then ay with by, multiply and add az with bz. This is your dot product. Each of the components. For vector A, it is having three components, that is Ax, Ay and Az. For B, Bx, By and Bz. This is the representation. Then next one is two vectors A and B are said to be orthogonal. When I can tell two vectors are going to be orthogonal or is perpendicular with each other, means it should have, that is A, vector A and vector B dot of vector B, it should be equals to 0. Cos 90 is 0. The whole value is going to be 0. Then in vectors, when it is of orthogonal, your dot product will be getting as 0. When I go with the commutative law, your is going to satisfy your commutative law, that is A, vector A dot vector B is going to be equals to vector B dot vector A. Then about distributive law, that is A, vector A dot vector B plus vector C is going to be equals to A dot B vectors plus A vector dot C vector. Then vector A with the vector itself, if I am going to multiply, that is I will be getting as A vector A mod of whole square is nothing but A square, means a scalar quantities you will be getting off. Then you should remember this condition. Okay, when I am going to solve the problems, it will be helping for us. Ax dot Ay or else Ay with Az, it's of a unit vectors, that is equals to Az with Ax, all are going to be equals to 0. But when it is multiplied with itself, that is Ax vector dot Ax vector or else Ay with Ay, Az with Az, then it will be equals to 1. Here a small representation of a our dot product. Here it is given vector A is going, moving like this and vector B is moving like this in the x-axis. Then the angle between these two are going to be taken as theta AB. This is one method of representing our dot product. AB cross cos theta AB. This is about our dot product. Next is of our cross product. The cross product of two vectors, vector A and B, is going to be taken as A with a cross lines, that is vector B. Is a vector quantity whose magnitude is the area of the parallelogram. Area, the two vectors, in which way it is going to be varying. Okay, formed by the vector A and vector B, area of the parallelogram formed by the vector A and B and is in the direction of the advance of the right-handed screw as A bar is turned into B bar. What is meaning I will tell. This is a vector A is varying here and vector B is varying here. This is our cross product. A bar cross B bar. And this is the area. Parallelogram. Okay. Observe here. A cross, vector A cross B is going to be AB length into this length and this length, that is A and B. What is the length of these two? That is your area. For a rectangular, length into breadth, you will be what you will be writing. Then A, B, sine. What is the angle it's going to be making with the vector A and vector B? That is sine theta AB and unit vector AN bar. Okay, where AN is of a unit vector normal to the plane containing A bar and B bar. The direction of these, here it is given as, observe here, here it is shown. I can't draw the fingers, for that reason I just drawn represented like this. Here our right hand thumb rule. If I am going to take, when I am going to fix here, then which direction I am going to be. When I am going, the product, whether it is getting a positive product or else a negative product, how I can tell if I am going to take in the clockwise direction. in a clockwise direction. Then I'll be getting a positive way, positive values, or else I can use of your screws, how you are going to fixing, right? That way. I can go with the right-handed. Right-handed you have to take, then you go with the angle. In which way it's going to be, the angle is changing is like from A to, in which direction it's going to be. Observe here, changing in the same way, right? Theta AB. In which direction it's going to be. Based on that, I can tell whether it is a positive value or else in the negative value, or else it's going to be in a negative way, in an anti-clockwise direction. Okay, that's what here it is given. The direction of A and Y unit vector is taken as the direction of the right hand thumb here, right hand thumb, when figures of right hand rotates from A to B. Observe here, from A to B. Here A bar, comma B bar, and the product, that is our cross product from right hand triplet, in which A bar rotates towards the A bar rotates towards the B bar rotates towards B bar through an angle of theta AB, which should be less than pi. Of course, you will be getting less than pi only, because pi is 180 degree. Almost your B vector is going to be within the limit only. Then if you want A bar cross B bar points in the direction right-handed screw turns in the anti-clockwise. However, if the screw turns in the clockwise from A bar to B bar throughout the angle greater than pi, if it is going to move towards greater than pi, means it will be pi. More than pi means after 180 degree, 270 or 360, within that limit, it's going in a down direction. Then it leads to the left hand triple. You have to go with the left hand, then screw it. It will be in a negative way. Okay, directed towards the downwards. The vector multiplication is called a cross product by using of a cross sign, and it is also called as a vector product, cross product, or else a vector product. Then again we are going to take with the, if a vector A is having the components Ax, Ay and Az, Ax, Ay and Az, and B is with having a Bx, By and Bz, then the cross product is going to be, remember here the unit vectors, first we have to take the direction, because unit vector is giving the direction, remember that. Then Ax bar, it's unit vector Ax, unit vector Ay and unit vector Az. Then our each components, that is Ax, Ay, Az, then Bx, By, Bz of mod. What I can write the equation? You already know. First, if I am to find my Ax, how I can write? Skip off this, then take off Ay minus Ay into Bz minus Ax, Az into By into Ax bar. Then if I find my Ay bar, skip off this, then observe here what I am actually minus of Ay we should write here. What I did, what we have to write, A minus of Ax Bz minus Az Bz you have to write. What I did, that minus sign I multiplied within. For that reason what I wrote Az Bx minus Ax Bz into Ay bar. Okay, don't get confused here what I did. Okay, then plus Ax, what you have to do, Az, for Az how we can find out, you have to skip this, then Ax By minus Ay Bz, Bx into Az bar. This is the resulting product, which can be obtained just by crossing the terms in the cyclic permutation. We go in the name. Some of the laws, whether it is satisfying or not, we should know. For the commutative law, it's not satisfying. That is, vector A with cross with vector B is not going to be equals to vector B crossed with a vector A. But when I go with the anti-commutative, what is going to be? You will not get positive product, you will be getting the negative product. That is, when I am going to multiply, not a cross product with the A and B, you will be getting as negative value of vector B with vector A. And it's not a associative, associative property is not satisfying for the cross product. When a distributive, if I am going for, it is going to satisfy like your vector A cross with vector B plus vector C, then it is going to be taken as vector A cross with your vector B plus vector A cross with vector C. Then in the dot product, vector A dot with vector A, what you got? You got as A square, but here it is 0. You have to remember these parameters, so it will be easy for us when you are going to solve the problems. Remember these terms, equations. Along with those, you have to remember these extra points, like, okay. Then ax bar cross ay bar is going to be az bar. Then ay az is going to be ax. Az is going to be a. How to get this? Here it is a cyclic permutation. What we are telling. First you have to take ax, vector ax, ay and az. What you have to do? Ax, ay, which one is missing? That is az, right? That you have to write. Remember, ax, ay should be there. It's not ay and ax. Okay, ax, ay, it's going to be az. In the same way, for ay, az, it is a ax. Then for ax, az in ax. The direction is very important. Z to x, it is a ay bar. Vector ay. Okay. It is in terms of your clockwise movement. If it is going to be anti-clockwise or counterclockwise, you will be getting a negative values for same unit vectors with the negative things. The same thing here it is taken, no need of going again. Next is of a scalar triple product. How I can write here? Here it is going to be a dot scalar. If it is coming, means you should remember that it is of a dot. If I am going to tell a vector, it is of a cross. Okay. A dot B cross C is going to be equals to B cross dot C cross A, that is equals to C A cross B. This is your scalar triple product. Then about if vector A, it is having components of ax, ay and az. For B, bx, by and bz. For C, cx, cy and cz. Then A dot B cross C is the volume parallelepiped having of A, B and C at the edges. What it's going to be, we will come across it in the next class. Okay. Then what is scalar triple product? I can write here as vector A, B cross C is going to be ax, ay, az, bx, by, bz, cx and cy, cz. The result of a vector is going to be a scalar. For that reason, we are telling as a scalar triple product. We'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. Okay. Answer your attendance firstly. Still 15 minutes time is there, right? I forward. Okay, we'll finish up the vector triple product also. I thought of 11:45 for that reason. Next is of vector triple product, how it is going to be representing for vectors A, B, C. The vector triple product is going to be vector A cross vector B cross vector C is going to be vector B of vector A dot C, vector C minus C, vector C of vector A dot vector B. Okay, how we can remember here? In a cab CAB, some person is sitting here which is having AC. Whichever it is easy for you, you can remember that. Here BAC minus CAB. In the back, someone seated in the cab. Okay, which one is easy for you? Based on this, you can remember the vector triple product. Okay, and observe here vector A dot vector B multiplying with a vector C is not going to be equals to multiplying with A vector with a BC, B dot C. Okay, but when A vector of dot B vector, if it is multiplied with the C vector, that is going to be equals to C vector. I can change the position, that's it. But I can't change the elements, the components of vectors. Okay, that's what here it is telling for us. Then about our component of a vector, a directed application of a scalar product, is its use in the determining of the projection or else a component of a vector in the given direction. Projection means in which way, in xy, in your three-dimensional way. If I'm going to take any of the signal or any of the vector quantity, in which direction it is going to project in, which if I want to find what is the values of these, what I'm going to be, I'm going to take x, y, this is, you'll be getting from x here, then from y here, and what is the value here, what is the z. Based on this, you will be finding what is the point of these values. That's what the projection of a vector in a given direction, in which direction it's going to be given. That's what the component of a vector. The projection can be a scalar quantity or else a vector quantity. For a given vector A, the scalar component, how I can find the scalar component? It's going to be AB is equals to A cos theta of AB, or else it's going to be equals to vector, a magnitude of a vector A with unit vector along with the B direction. That is here, observe here the B direction. I told which direction it's going to be moving. That's what here it is given. Okay, AB bar cos theta AB, or else I can write as AB is equals to vector A dot unit vector of B. Then this is for a scalar component. When I go with a vector component, then AB bar of A bar, that is your vector AB of vector A along with the vector B is simply the scalar component multiplied with the unit vector. This is already a scalar quantity. For this, we are going to multiply with the unit vector. Observe here, AB is equals to AB into unit vector, that is AB bar. AB with again one more time unit vector, that I can write as A bar a unit vector A dot vector B into a unit vector again AB. Then here is figures are showing this is your scalar component, that is here a B is varying in this direction and A is varying in this direction, vector A. Then angle between these are going to be taken as theta AB. Observe here the scalar quantity is straight line at the head to tail. You have to draw the diagram. This is your scalar quantity. But when I'm going to represent as a vector quantity, observe here, we are giving the direction. That is very important. Here is a scalar quantity, here is a vector quantity. Here the value is going, you'll be getting as a minus vector ab bar. This is loss. Okay, this is your theta ab angle. Okay, then from the figure B we can observe that vector can be resolved into two orthogonal components. One component vector AB is parallel to B bar. Vector B means vector AB is parallel to B bar, and one more is, another is A bar, vector A minus vector AB is perpendicular to B bar. This is perpendicular to B bar. Then the Cartesian representation of a vector is essentially resolving the vector into three mutually orthogonal components. Here what is going to be, it's not that important. Then if I go with the division of a vectors, that is vector A divided by vector B, it's not is going to be considered. Why it is not? It is undefined, except what it has, it should be vector A and vector B should be parallel. Then I can go with the division, but here it is not. We are not going to be using of the division of any of the vectors. Addition and multiplication are very important. That is A bar. When I am going to tell parallel, then a vector A should be equals to k times a vector B, where k is a constant values. This is about our component of a vector. Okay. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. All of you understood? Already you learned of our what is your vector A and what is your vector B, how you are going to represent it, how to add of those, and what is your, how you are going to be multiplying of those. But here extra things are going to be a cross product and a dot product. All of you got this?
Yes, ma'am.
Understanding, Sahana?
Yes, ma'am.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ?
Yes, ma'am.
ನವೀನ್?
Yes, ma'am.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ನೋಡಿದ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗಾರು ಹೋಗಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ? ಇವತ್ತಿನ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇವತ್ತೇ ಏನೇನು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಡಾಟು ಒಂದೆರಡು ಮೂರು ಸಲ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಈಸಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ದೆನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅವರ್ ರೇಷ್ಮಾ? Reshma, are you there? Munisa?
Yes, ma'am.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, in the next class, I will solve a few problems of our addition, how we are going to be adding of two vectors, multiplication, dot product and cross product, and about a position and a displacement, how it is going to be taken for the vectors. Okay. Okay, answer for your attendance.